People who work in the field of da'wah, their children and their relatives are sometimes, a lot of the times, inspired by other
people now.
Wallah. You know, it's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
Phenomenon, it is.
Wallah, I want to tell you a true story. Here in London, there was a brother who came to me one day, older than me, and he a few years ago, and he gave me a big hug in the masjid. He said, I used to hate you. I used to hate you. But wallahi, I have to apologize to you. I said, oh, subhanallah. I said, khair, inshallah, it's okay, it's fine, you know. I don't let things, you know. So he said, no, I want to tell you what happened. My son's on drugs for so many years. He's actually a, really lost case. No salah, no nothing for many years. And he says, I actually tried so hard. I took him to South Africa. I took him to South Africa. I took him to, here, there. And you know what? Nothing helped him. I tried with this sheikh, that sheikh, nothing helped. He said, one day, I'm cutting the story short. One day, he told me, Dad, I'm joining you for Salat al-Maghrib. And he came to the masjid, Salat al-Isha. He said, I was so scared to ask him. He says, he came for Salat al-Fajr. After Fajr, he sat with me and we were having tea. And I told him, son, tell me, mashallah, I'm so happy. He says, I was listening to a talk by Mufti Menk. Now that's like the dad's enemy, Yeah. He says, the guy says, it's time, it's about time you quit. And he says, I think he's right. So he says, you know what, Allah used you for my child. I said, wallahi, it's not me, it's Allah. So I learned, and he learned, and I learned as well. Sometimes we might not agree 100% with someone on certain matters, but Allah may use that person to do work you could have never done. We need to support each other. Wherever there are matters, I always like to, these guys know me, I always like to address matters, tackle them, if we can, with our friends in private, so to speak, rather than expose and make it like, a huge fitna and so on. But alhamdulillah, one thing I must say is your approach, Sheikh Mufti, is really, it's really a very good approach. I think there's legitimacy, there is, it's evidence-based, and at the same time, it's very balanced. So, mashallah, mabrooq.
Thank you, Sheikh.
Allah grant you lots of growth and still. And as time passes, we tend to expand in our way. The message will never change, but the way we actually portray it will actually keep up to the times. Inshallah. But it's a powerful message.
Thank you, Sheikh. It means a lot. It means a lot. We try. That's like nothing else. Yeah, Allah understand. There's not much we have,
And I've realized sometimes people misunderstand, and sometimes people take things out of context. Some of them genuinely they don't, they have a misunderstanding. And sometimes not so genuinely. Sometimes it's just a swipe. You've got to be
a swipe.
It's just a swipe. And the swipes happen for many reasons. I want to tell you my experience. I'm 45 years old. I'm not too sure how old you are. And I've got 10 kids, walillahi alhamdu wal minna. Been in the field for about, since 1999, 2000. And what I've learned is, the field of da'wah is a very, very, it's a very tricky field, because Allah tests you from every angle until you realize and you know clearly that it's only Allah who you owe yourself to completely, totally. And that's what it is. And the idea is we should have, and we do have, a feeling for all people, those who are sinful, those who are not, those who are honest, those who think like us, those who don't. We care for every one of them. So if you care for everyone, you respect everyone, you actually put yourselves in their shoes, you try to reach out to them. I always tell people, I'm so excited when I'm given the opportunity to preach to people who are totally out, And when I'm preaching to the preached, I don't get that kick. That's why they say, oh, you went into this masjid, that. I said, look, I'll go to any masjid, because the idea is to talk to the guys. I'm not, then people use the term al-wala wal-bara to try and tell you you're not allowed to go here. I said, listen, this is da'wah. Da'wah is totally different from al-wala wal-bara. I'm going in to do something. I'm not going into little, So Allah make it easy.
And fraternize, I'm going for a message.
In order to get the message across, and it's very clear, but Allah make it easy. I found, and I'm not saying it because it's you in front of me, this was even before I knew I would meet you. I felt within myself that this is a brother who actually is a breath of fresh air. Simply because of the way things are put forward.
I understand.
May Allah make it easy. May Allah make it easy.
That's all I'll become.